Jeremiah and I are going to walk you through a few stretches that can be good for relieving tension in the body, as well as keeping things mobile and moving between your workouts, or if you're out of town for vacation or want to do some stuff at home. So if you're feeling any tightness through your glutes or your hips, a figure four or piriformis stretch is a really good one for it. So you'll want to do this by keeping one leg anchored in about a 90-degree angle like Jeremy has it. And then you're going to bring your opposite ankle and cross it over. And this should give you a good stretch on the left side. If you want to deepen it, there's a few ways to do that. So one would be to press on your left knee, or the one that's bent. And that's going to give you more of a stretch to the side. And you can also pull that same leg towards you. Oh yeah, this one, your left one. The knee, towards you, yeah, like that. And that's going to give you more of a stretch deeper through your glute and through the side. And then another way to feel it more through the back would be to grab the anchored side and to pull the knee or pull the leg towards you. So it'll end up lifting both legs. And you can lean forward to deepen the stretch as well. And you just want to make sure that it doesn't cause your back to round. So keeping a straight back is going to be really important, and that will also deepen the stretch. And then another version of this would be to do it laying. And so we'll demonstrate that over here. And so, yeah, in some ways, laying can be easier because gravity's working with you, but depending on how tight your back is, it can limit how much you're able to pull this leg towards you. And so the variations are still the same, but I'll have you reach for this leg, Jeremy. And then he's able to relax his head and shoulders back while also pulling his leg towards him without causing too much stress to the rest of the body. And so holding this for about 10-15 seconds, practicing deep breathing is going to help release it. And then you can set it down and then the opposite side. Then we'll do it about 3 to 5 times between each side. Good. And then another great one would be the pelvic tilt. So now that the hips are loosened up, we will bring the feet about shoulder width apart. And then you'll want to get your back really flat in the mat. So you'll tilt your hips forward, just like Jeremy did. Perfect. And then you'll tilt them down into the table, just like that. And that tilt down should create a small arch in your back. And then as you're tilting forward, you want to make sure that you're not lifting and pushing your hips up. You're just rocking back and forth. And that's really going to help keep your pelvis stable as well as stretch through that area. And oftentimes from long periods of walking or if hips are moving and shifting at all during that, lateral pelvic tilts can be a good way to combat the tension. And so keeping your knees bent just like this, you're going to try to squeeze one side while keeping your back flat. And then you'll shift to the other side, just like that. And then we'll go again to the other side. Perfect. And it's an easy one for your legs to want to go back and forth, but we want to focus on the hips and that movement there. And this is a really good one for stretching without putting too much stress on the back. And then another version of this that could be more stable would be to do a cat-cow. So I'll have you flip over, go with hands and knees. And if we're sitting for long periods of time or things are stressed in the lower portion of the back, that can put a lot of pressure between your vertebrae. And so we'll want to kind of reverse that position by making a curve in our back towards the ceiling and looking down. And then we'll let the back sink down towards the mat as you're looking up. And that is the cow part. So as you're curling down, your head goes down and that stretches all the way to the neck. This is the cow part. And then you'll just go through this range of motion, trying to let the middle of your back sink down. There's a tendency for the chest to want to go really far or for other parts to move. But to get the deepest stretch, you want to keep everything squared and just moving through this area and neck. Another stretch that would be good for this would be a child's pose. So if this is hard to achieve, but we still need to lead tightness to the low back, you can turn this into a child's pose by bringing your heels a little bit closer together and bringing your knees a little further apart. And then you're gonna push your hips back so they're touching towards your heels. And then you'll want to let your chest sink down, breathe into your legs. And then this back's going to be really flat, and then this is really going to help alleviate tension here. And as you're breathing, just trying to let the chest sink closer and closer to the mat beneath you. Another way to get deeper through the sides would be to gently walk your hands toward one direction. So we'll gently go to the left. And then we'll hold that there, taking a few deep breaths to really ease into it. And then after you've held that for about 10 to 15 seconds, we'll come to the right side. And everything should be slow and controlled to keep everything in a good position. And if your chest doesn't touch the pad, that is perfectly fine. You'll just want to keep that position. And then those are all really great ones for the lower body. And so something more for the mid-back and through the overall trunk. Sometimes it's good to get rotation through the area. So we are going to do open books where everything's stacked on top of each other. And then we'll just open up the arms like a book, letting your eyes follow your hand. Perfect. And the key thing to try to keep in mind here is that you want your legs to stay as stable as possible. And so it can be helpful to have something supportive in front of you or just being aware of your legs. And as you're going through the range, you'll just want to make sure to keep your neck relaxed so the upper trap doesn't try to go. And once you've done anywhere from like 5 to 8 of these, you can try the other side. And another good exercise to really help open up the chest and shoulders while allowing gravity to help you would be to do a snow angel. So for this version, we'll keep your knees bent and your feet flat, just like Jeremy has them. And then we'll make a big W with the arms, allowing your forearms to rest back. This is a good indicator of your mobility, but most people can't get their forearms back, and that's okay. You'll just want to keep them as flat as you possibly can. So as you're going through the range, you're going to want to slide up, making sure that your neck isn't tensing. If it's tensing, you can set your shoulders back and down, and that should help get them in a better position. And then we'll emphasize the bottom range by squeezing to pinch your mid-back right through there. And then we'll go back up, just so making a snow angel. You'll also want to keep your back really flat here, which is why the knees bent helps, but it'll be trickier as you're coming down towards your ribs. But if you squeeze your abs and think about pointing your ribs towards your hips, that helps keep that stable position. Just like that. And you might notice one side has more range than the other, and you'll just try to work them in a pain-free range, whatever that is for either side.